any questions.
Well, if you just okay, so if you don't let them out in the wild and just like still in the fields where you just don't eat them, where will you keep like all the dead bull bodies?
Well, I mean,
It's
I think
not
that
like you can
most people
dig
think that it's fine, like, if something's dead and then you eat it. There's just the question is, should we be killing it to eat, or should we? Because there's a difference between killing it specifically to eat and finding it dead and eating it conveniently.
Well, vegetables are alive too.
Dude, why
Well,
do you eat?
Vegetables don't have brains, though.
Vegetables don't feel, and vegetables don't have consciousness. So, I mean, very
How
few
do
people
you
think
know?
that.
Are you a vegetable?
No, but scientists have conducted a lot of studies like that.
Vegetables have tons of consciousness. What do you mean?
Wait, the difference with vegetables is that you can just let it keep going and only cut off a few leaves to eat and just let the rest keep going, or eat its fruits every year, but just let the plant keep living. You can't really do that with animals except eggs and milk.
Okay, that's fair, I guess. But in my opinion, the bigger difference is the fact that vegetables don't feel and they don't suffer. Also, whoever is Justin Qiu in the chat, that's not
He
me.
says eggs. Well, technically, there's a baby chick in there that's like developing, and technically, that would be killing something.
It's not conscious yet. It doesn't matter. It can die. It's not real.
Well, okay, that's a bit off topic.
It's
It
real.
doesn't exist. It's dead.
It is off topic, yeah. So any other arguments about this that's on topic? We're not comparing animals to vegetables. Okay, so then I'll introduce the second aspect of this question then. If you guys didn't notice, the third paragraph in this talks about the cultural significance of bullfighting. And I think someone mentioned it before. Someone said that bullfighting is just entertainment. But the problem is that I think that bullfighting is more than entertainment in some societies, because as the text mentions, a lot of societies see bullfighting as very important to their culture, and if you were to stop bullfighting, that would be taking away a huge part of their culture. So the question is their culture just wrong, or is it not possible for our culture to judge another culture because we don't know and we're not in that culture?
Yeah, just get entertainment and culture from other ways then.
Yeah, like,
Well, that's really hard though. That's like telling someone, like a Christian, stop being Christian, just get your joy from other places. That's very difficult to do.
well, didn't we like tell the people that were cannibals to like stop being cannibals? Maybe like, I don't know, but maybe like they were like, it was part of their culture, but they still stopped, right? Or
That's a good point. But not all cultural differences are like that, right? Like there's some other things that people would frown upon if you tried to tell them to stop. Like for example, what if you told someone to stop celebrating Chinese New Year because it's different from our culture? Like, that would be bad.
How dare you.
So how do we tell if something is genuinely bad or if something is just a cultural difference? How has their hand up?
For example, in Chinese New Year, it's not like during Chinese New Year, Chinese people go to some place and start slaughtering animals. It's like,
What about like Thanksgiving? Don't you slaughter a turkey to eat for Thanksgiving? Like, could someone force us to stop that?
well, in the like tradition, like how the bullfighting, it's not like it only comes once a year.
Well, what if it was once a year? Would that be better then?
How do you know it's once a year?
I mean, does the frequency matter?
Yes.
Why?
Well, if you say the frequency doesn't matter, would you kill more bulls if like you did a bullfight once every 2 years, or would you kill more bulls if you did a bullfight every day? Like, is there a difference? I think there might be one.
Well, what I'm saying is like it could be more bad or less bad, but the frequency doesn't change whether or not it's bad.
Wait, I have a point.
Okay, how? Go ahead.
If your culture involves like having slavery or something really immoral, would you just consider it under the banner of, oh, this is culture and we need it. But then I also recognize the argument that some things are very important to people because religion,
Mhm.
but there are some stuff that are morally wrong.
To continue his thought, well, like when Lincoln or everyone like made all those laws that said slavery is not allowed, everyone, and you can't do it here. So, well, like technically, that's breaking someone's culture. And if you say that breaking someone's, well, you shouldn't break someone's bullfighting culture or something, then why? Then how? Then you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't break someone's culture. Then how come they broke the slavery's culture? Like,
That's a
isn't
really
it
good point.
kind of the same thing?
That's a good point.
You see, because they're afraid that they will be slave one day. Because the blacks are learning.
Well, I don't think that was the only reason for the Civil War and that stuff. But
No,
that's a
let's
different
say if
discussion.
they just say,
Go
if
ahead.
the blacks, they can't be taught, their education level stays barbaric forever. No one's really gonna stand up for them.
Okay, that's an interesting view, but that's not really what we're talking about. But I can see your point. So, wait, Hao, you still have your hand up? Did you have something else to say?
No, I just kept it up.
Okay.
Oh,
So, my question then is, we know that some things are just wrong. Like the Holocaust is wrong regardless of culture. Slavery is wrong regardless of culture. But we also think that some things are okay. There's some cultural differences that are okay. So how do we know which one bullfighting should go in? Is bullfighting a cultural difference that's okay, or is it something that's just wrong?
I mean, if it's like just for the entertainment, for people to cherish that the bull died or the trainer died, then that's really bad.
Okay. Dot. Or what's your point? Raise your hand.
I just have a point why bullfighting is, well, like why someone would say like the meat thing. Well, so scientists have proved that if like nobody ate meat, everything we could survive, which we know we can't survive. But the point is, most the animals eat. Well, if you tell the human to like stop eating meat. Well, how come we can't eat meat when the tigers and lions in the jungles can eat meat? And also, if like you just like let all those like animals back, they would eat lots of like plants and well, if we only eat plants, we eat a lot more plants than now, and so would the animals that we like let go, and they would also eat more plants because there are more of them, and then there wouldn't be enough plants. Also, how come like we can't eat? Well, you're saying it's moral to not eat meat. Well, then why don't you go tell that to the tiger over there?
Okay.
He's right.
That's a good point.
That's a good point. I've thought that for a long time.
Okay. Wait, but really quickly, I don't actually think that. I was just trying to talk about that for discussion. But I think that there definitely is something that there's a problem with that, right? Because if I were trying to argue against you, I would say that the lion can eat meat because it doesn't have the freedom of choice that humans have. So whether or not it eats meat might be beyond its like scope of action. Whereas for humans, we can choose.
Oh, so you're just gonna tell the bear over there to never eat fish or any bugs again, and only eat the berries that it can eat?
Yeah, right. Like that would be impossible. But whereas it would be possible for humans to not eat meat. That's the argument on the other side.
Well, technically that isn't fair if the bear can continue eating meat and we can't.
They depend on meat, so.
Well, so do humans.
Also, that if we went all vegetarian, the world, it would upset the world's food chain, and then
and all the animals we didn't eat would be out there also eating plants, and there would be like too less plants, and then everything else.
Okay.
Aren't the animals already eating plants right now?
Yeah, they are.
But like,
Actually, yeah, that's true.
We kill a lot of animals for eating purposes, but if we didn't kill them, there would be like millions more animals that didn't get killed every year, and then there would be like so many animals, and they would eat like so many.
The food chain would get rid of the excess animals.
the reason why there's so many animals, one reason why there's so many animals is because we're purposefully breeding them to get more meat. So if we were to stop doing that, it might cause an
They're
initial
born to
disruption.
die. The breeding animals are like born to die.
Whoa. No, they're not.
Well, some definitely are. Okay. Any closing thoughts on that? There's actually another discussion that I wanted to talk about that might be even more interesting.
Ooh.
Okay, I'm going to move on then.
Bring it.
My second question is, should animal testing be allowed? So this is also in the domain of animal rights, but it's a slightly different right. I'll
It's
just really
better
quickly
than
read it.
human testing.
Better than human testing? Okay. So yeah, I'll read it.
Fine.
Many medical research institutions make use of non-human animals as test subjects. Animals may be subject to experimentation or modified into conditions useful for gaining knowledge about human disease or for testing potential human treatments. Because animals share many physiological and genetic similarities with humans, animal experimentation can be tremendously helpful for furthering medical science. However, there's an ongoing debate about the ethics of animal experimentation. Some people argue that all animal experimentation should end because it is wrong to treat animals merely as tools for furthering knowledge. According to that, an animal should have as much of a right as a human being to live out a full life free of pain and suffering. Others argue that while it's wrong to unnecessarily abuse animals, animal experimentation must continue because of the huge scientific resource that animal models provide. So what is your opinion on that,
I think
and why?
I think like it's kind of ethical to test medicines on animals, but it's kind of not ethical to test conscious postulates on an animal if it can get really sick, but you still kind of have to do that. And also animal testing could eventually lead to the animals getting treatments.
That's a good point.
Postulate.
And also, if the tests occur, it kills the animal, but still, if they manage to develop a cure to it, they could they would save millions of humans every year and stuff. Well,
Okay.
let's say the people who are choosing to do coronavirus curve, if they got a bunch of animals and they did it and they found a cure that would save billions of humans all over the world, all because you sacrificed 100 other animals.
Okay, that's a good point.
And maybe save animals too.
Okay.
What if you were that animal?
Okay. Before we continue the discussion, let me just split it into two sections. So the first type is testing on animals to help humans, and the second is testing on animals to help animals. Right now, we're mostly talking about testing on animals only to help humans.
Wait, I think you should split it again, to testing diseases on animals and testing cures on testing medicine.
Good question.
Wait, what do you? Yes, go ahead.
I don't think. Okay, I think there's a chain here. So basically, if you help animal, you help human. If you help human, you help animal. For example, if you clone animals, sure, they're mostly for food, but that also the number of nearly extinct animals.
Okay. Oh, that's an interesting one, but I guess that's not so common. The more common animal testing is mostly for things like treating human diseases and learning more about stuff like that. So that's a huge minority of animal testing.
No, but if you can treat disease, you're testing on treating disease on them, and this success. So if the animal get the disease, doesn't that mean you can save them?
Well, you could save maybe a later animal, but the animal that you test on is most likely dead. Mortality rates for animal testing is very high.
Okay.
Wait, what? Wait, so if the animals get tested treatments, are they infected first?
Yeah, sometimes.
Oh.
Why don't they just clone an ant? For example, why don't they just get a rabbit and clone it a couple of times and then test it on the cloned rabbits?
Well, cloning isn't so reliable right now. That's definitely something that is not feasible for most things. How did raise your hand? Your hand raised.
So what I was gonna say was that because some people, I actually agree that it's unnecessary to abuse animals, but sometimes we might need it. But then someone said that if we find a cure for coronavirus by testing on 100 animals, we would save a lot of people. But that's very contradicting because some people right now are choosing not to wear masks in public spaces and not follow social distancing.
But that's a different topic.
Too bad.
Why do you care about that? Because like if they do that, they're choosing to risk their life, and like it's not like they have anything to do with you.
But when they risk their life, they're also risking our lives.
Okay, yeah.
Technically,
I
no.
agree with you, but that's a different discussion.
Technically, yes.
Okay, so it's actually 8:02. Pretty much over with this. So
10:02
if you want to
for
leave,
me.
feel free. But sorry, what did you say?
It's 10:02 for me.
Oh, it's 10:02 for you. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to leave, feel free. But if anyone has any closing thoughts on this question, I know we only had like 10 minutes to discuss it because we talked a lot about the previous one. So anyone have any other thoughts? Please leave this for 2 more hours. That would not be feasible. I need to sleep. But yeah, I'll stay here for like 10 more minutes.
Nine more hours.
9 more hours? No, I think that might cause severe problems. Oh shoot, I forgot to go over the homework before everyone left. That's fine, I'll just send it later. But really quickly, what we're gonna do in the next class is we're gonna finally move away from ethics and applied ethics, and we're gonna talk about political and economic philosophy. So if you're interested in that stuff, please come. I personally think that next class is probably the second or third most interesting one.
Wait, is next class tomorrow?
No, it's next week. Tomorrow is gonna be a repeat of this class because, I mean, honestly, if we keep getting only like 20 people or so, I could probably just combine them. But before we had like 60 people, so I didn't. That's why I had 2 classes.
Oh, okay.
Can you make the class last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? How many zeros is that? A ridiculous number of 0 years. No.
Technically, that many years, you could be long dead.
Wait, can I see the homework again?
Sure. I'll send it in the chat. Oops.
Wait,
I didn't
what's
actually send the homework. I usually send it after the next class.
What's the previous slide? I want to see it.
This?
Yeah, I want to see it.
This was originally just remember how we didn't finish this last class from like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago? I was originally going to do it, but I figured we ran out of time. So we could do it right now if everyone's interested.
Yeah, I'm interested.
Okay. I'm not going to read it because my throat's beginning to hurt, but
what? What is a gallows?
it's like the place where people hang.
Thing where you hang people.
It's a bad thing. It's a bad place.
Wait, what's your email?
Okay, I'll send it in the chat.
Thank you.
I think that's a bit of a stretch. Whoever's name is ... But thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, so who has any arguments on this ethical dilemma? Just feel free to talk. Maris asks, could you send the PPT? I'll send that to you after the class. Someone asks, I would kill my son. Huh, okay. So why?
Wait, this doesn't make sense. Why would the guard kill some other innocent person?
They probably just want to be cruel.
Because the guard's evil.
Wait, do you just like pull a chair under your son, meaning that you hang him?
Yeah, that means that you basically kill him.
Oh my goodness.
So someone says they don't want to kill another person along with the son.
So
Okay.
I'll just do nothing. What?
Tell the guard you're not his dad, and let another person do it.
Wait, if you do nothing, then the second thing will happen, where the guard kills 2 people.
Oh. Then kill the
Kill
guard.
the guard. Get Tara
I think
and
that would be really hard if the guard was armed and you were not. That would just end up 3 people dying. Your son, the other innocent person, and yourself.
you keep a bomb on yourself every time the bad people invade your home, so you can go when you go.
Kill the guard! Kill the guard!
Just call Dwayne Johnson, man.
Just
Okay,
like
well, maybe I
somehow
shouldn't have
magically
chosen
make
this
a gun appear and then kill the guard. Yeah, like I know, right? It's so easy to make a gun appear.
Maybe I should have chosen another topic. But anyway, the theme of this question is, how does one act morally when faced with an immoral situation? Because so far, most of that stuff we're talking about is assuming that everything makes sense and everything is fair. Or most of the stuff, at least. But sometimes there's situations where that's not true. So when you're faced with someone doing something immoral to you, how do you respond? Is there a way to respond morally, or are all actions immoral?
That the guard is really evil and has to be decapitated.
Someone says cough on the guard or throw a smoke bomb. Yeah, definitely do that.
Just call the guard, and then the guard gets scared, and then he runs away, and then you can save everybody.
That is infeasible. Someone says stop about Minecraft and then type something out about Minecraft. Y'all should really stop talking about Minecraft during the class. It makes the chat go too fast and I can't. That's not even how you spell hypocrite, man. Okay, yeah. Anyone have any thoughts on this? If not, I'll close the meeting shortly in like 2 minutes. Tell your pet T-Rex to eat the guard.
Definitely give the guard COVID-19.
Okay, yeah, definitely should not have chosen this topic. I should have gone with the other one. Okay, I'll stop sharing. Oh yeah.
Goodbye.
About to end the meeting. Thanks again for everyone who
Goodbye.
came. And yeah, goodbye. Let me know if you have any questions.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, I'm ending the meeting right now.